If you're consistently entering into trades that go directly into drawdown with little to no upside prior to price switching against you, then you're likely making one very specific mistake. This mistake being trying to predict price rather than letting price action confirm your entry. Today, I'm going to be breaking down one concept that when implemented correctly can completely change your entries and correct this problem completely. Instead of guessing where price might go and hoping it works out, I'm going to show you how to wait for the market to confirm your idea so that way you enter with confidence rather than just based on hopes and dreams. But first, mentorship application and Discord link in the description below. And if you guys are interested in using the best prop firm in the game right now, head over to Lucid and use code DROBO at checkout. You'll get the biggest discount possible. And thanks to so many of you guys using my discount code, I'll be giving away some more accounts on Discord this week. So make sure you join the Discord and be on the lookout for that. Now, let's take a closer look into this concept and see how we can implement it to start winning more trades. Okay, so here we have the 1 minute chart from NQ from the trading day today. And there's a couple things that I want to do right now. First of all, I'm going to explain this concept that I've been describing, and then I'm going to go over a couple different examples of how it would have played out in the trading day today, including some trades I actually took this morning as well. So this one concept that I want you guys to really lock in on and start paying a lot more attention to is something that a lot of you have probably already heard of and are probably already implementing, but don't really truly understand how powerful it can be and also how important it is in terms of confirmation rather than just guessing and hoping that you're right. So the thing I'm talking about is breaks of structure in a trend. So this means that there's a current trend going on, and then that trend sets highs and lows, either consecutive higher highs and higher lows in an uptrend or consecutive lower lows and lower highs in a downtrend. So eventually, one of these highs is going to be taken out, and that is going to break that trend. And that's called a break of structure or a break of trend. Either way you want to describe it, it's a signal that the current trend has officially come to an end and a new one might be starting. This makes breaks of structures really good at confirming that price has a legitimate chance of continuing this new trend that is started. And hopefully this will allow you to take an entry based on this that gives you a good entry, a good stop loss, and also plenty of room to have a take profit that has significant reward. So looking at the trading day from today alone, you can see there's plenty of different breaks of structure. Every time that we take out a prior low or a prior high, that is considered a break of structure as long as we are going against the current trend. So like as of right here, this is a break of structure to the upside. However, this was immediately invalidated by another break of structure back down to the bottom side. So you can see here we're creating consecutive higher highs and also lower lows. So at this point, there is no trend. This is consolidation. This is chop. This is nothing that you can really make any sense of. However, the trend gets broken again here, and then we never really take out this high ever again. And we continue a downtrend here. But getting into actual examples from trades that were taken today by both me and also people from my Discord. So the first one here being, this is a major news candle that we had right here at 8:30. And a lot of people believe that the news candles are reverted very often. So that's a trade that a lot of people look for. I normally look for it as well. However, the high time frame today was showing extremely bullish in my opinion. So I was not looking to completely short and reverse this entire move that we had up here because I was scared that the 9:30 open was going to add too much volume and the buyers were going to be too strong in this instance. Of course, I was wrong, but I get no punishment because I didn't even take a trade. I was just waiting patiently for my trade and my setup to actually happen. So this entire downtrend that you see right here, I didn't take any trades during that. However, some of the people on my Discord were taking the reversal of this huge news candle that we have right here. And as you can see, that trade would have worked out perfectly. Doesn't matter if you would have put it at the candle body or the candle wick. The body gets taken out pretty quickly, and then it has a little bit of pullback before it does eventually come back and take out that wick. So that would have been a little bit annoying to have to deal with all this chop that we see right here. But if we go back to the initial break of structure that happened here, I'm going to mark it out right here. This is a new low that we have set right here. So we have this huge move up, and then we have a pullback, and then we set another high right here, and then we set a lower low. So we have a lower high followed by a lower low, and this exact break of structure right here would have been a great entry point You can use this as your stop loss, and this trade, it would have gone into drawdown later on. This is a crazy big move that we're trying to catch, and we're also trying to fight the bullish high time frame at the same time. So there's a ton of chop involved in this specific trade right here. This isn't a normal trade by any means, but when we set this up and I use the short position tool right here, let's say you enter just directly off of the break of structure, you could set your stop loss right here. You set your stop loss right here, or you could even have it at this wick right here. Either way, this trade would have worked out in your favor no matter what. And then you set your take profit to either the candle body or the candle wick, whichever way you want to do it for this specific setup. And you're looking at about a 3.5 to 4 risk to reward ratio trade. And this trade would have been full profit, and there's basically no drawdown. You come into a little bit of drawdown later on, but this trade is going in your favor for a very, very long amount of time. So there's not a ton of stress involved in this one. And like I said, this is a little bit of a weird setup, but this does go to show that once the structure has been broken and we start our downtrend, the downtrend did continue, and we had a full reversal of the entire news candle, which was the entire thesis for everyone who took this trade, was that we were going to reverse the news candle, and that did eventually happen. So getting away from this a little bit of a weird circumstance here with this news candle trade, and just getting in some regular price action trading that we normally can do on a day-to-day basis, because obviously not every day is going to be a news day. So getting into some of the trades that I actually took and the ones that I like. So first off, just a little bit of context. When we are looking at the market here, you look at the 1 hour from the day to day, and you can see that we were in an uptrend. So my entire thesis for the day today and my bias was that I was going to be looking for longs. So that's all that I really did. So I sat out this entire downtrend from the very beginning. You can see the 9:30 open was very choppy, and then we had a downtrend breakout from that. And this whole time I was just sitting back and waiting for the market to reverse and confirm that it was actually reversing and going to continue in the direction that I wanted it to. And the way that I was able to do that was, we have this downtrend that we had started right here. I'm going to mark out the lower high that we have right here, and this is what I'm going to use as my structure, that once it's broken, it's letting me know that we're potentially starting an uptrend. So again, obviously there's nothing that's going to be 100% in trading. Every time we break structure, it doesn't mean that a new uptrend is going to come and take out prior highs. It's just saying that that is the most likely situation, and we actually are giving ourselves reason and confirmation, confluence to what we're doing, rather than just trying to guess based on things like our gut, or we've sold off so much, there's no way that we can continue to sell off. Well, you can have that idea that we've sold off a ton and that you're expecting a reversal. However, you need something to confirm that thesis or to confirm that thought. You can't just go in based off of feelings. That's how you catch huge losers, and your trades instantly go against you. And it goes back to that saying of the market can be irrational longer than you can be liquid, meaning the market can do things that don't make sense to you longer than your actual trading account can last. So rather than just trying to predict these moves, you want to have an actual basis and confirmation and a reasoning of why you're actually looking for longs in this situation. So right here, we have this break of structure, which is telling me that we might start an uptrend, which is great. That's what I want. That's what I've been waiting for this entire morning. So we have a little bit of chop around that to where we're setting new higher highs, and we actually have another break of structure that actually happens right here, which is another great sign for me. And then from here, we enter a pullback that does start raising some red flags for me. However, this rejection candle that we see right here was another piece of confirmation that I used to enter into this trade. So this trade, we have a break of structure, which is telling me that we could flip from a bearish open to now a reversal later on in the day. So I'm going to use my long position tool to show the actual setup that I took. And I just used this exact rejection candle that we have right here, and then I took it up to this prior high right here. So this was a very low risk, high reward setup that happened to work out really good for me. Again, like I said, it's not always going to work out like this. This was a great setup, and they're not all going to be great setups, but this one was really good. So I took this entry here based off of this rejection candle right here. And then we immediately broke structure again, which is telling me that we are continuing this trend that we have established from these higher highs and higher lows that we have right here. And then eventually we do fully sweep out the liquidity that we had set from the morning earlier today. So this was a very big move that we were able to capture about 100 points while only risking like 20. So like I was saying before, not your average setup that you'll see. An average setup for me is usually like a 2-to-1, but this one right here was really good. I really like the entry and this was a great trade. I'm very happy that this one worked out. So now moving on to the other trade that I took. So after this huge liquidity sweep and this large wick, we start selling off a little bit. However, we do start setting these lower lows, lower highs. You see this downtrend right here. We have a break of structure that happens right here. And this was the second trade that I attempted today. And we're going to frame this one up right here. We have this rejection candle right here, which is a great sign for me, telling me that price tried to continue selling off but failed. And then another thing that's telling me that exact same thing is that we shot through the prior market structure and we're potentially starting a bullish uptrend. So in this instance, I set my take profit at this high right here. And this is a much more regular trade of a 1.6 risk to reward ratio. Anything above a 1.5, from like 1.5 to 2 is going to be a great trade. So this one right here is a much more standard setup and much more realistic. I believe I actually had my stop loss placed right here, but either way, it doesn't really matter. It's a good trade no matter what. It's going to be about a 2-to-1 risk to reward ratio, whichever one you decide to use. It all depends on your account size and your contract sizing and stuff like that. But either way, I took the entry here. I had my take profit set here, and this trade basically entered no drawdown whatsoever, which is something that I've been trying to point out that is a great thing for these breaks of structure. Is a lot of times when you break structure and you have other things on your side like the high time frame trend and stuff like that, these trades are not going to go into very much drawdown, and sometimes you get lucky like this, and this trade literally had 0 drawdown. So we have this huge breakout, and the pullback that we do have is never enough to get me anywhere near any kind of drawdown. And then eventually the trade goes to full profit, and that's all great as well. It actually did end up taking out this high as well, and then it moved on to continue to take out more and more liquidity on its way up. This could have been a much bigger trade, but I'm trying to be realistic with the moves of the market, and I'm not trying to catch some crazy, ridiculous trades, just consistent trades that make sense, that have clean logic behind them, with also having things like market structure shifts and trend and rejection candles, having all of these confluences along with my thesis in order to make my trades make the most sense. So this is a much more standard trade compared to the other ones. That first one is kind of going against the trend. This second one was kind of a huge risk, huge reward that doesn't come super often. And then this one right here is a much more normal trade, like a 2-to-1 risk reward ratio, very high confidence setup, and basically no drawdown whatsoever. It's just a great trade, and it really shows how powerful these breaks of structure can be. And if you're struggling with trading right now, you can't make any sense of why your trades are failing, or you're going into drawdown instantly when you enter in a trade, pay attention to the market structure. Pay attention to prior highs and lows, not only on high time frames, which is something that I preach forever, but on the low time frames as well, because these highs and lows tell you a lot about the actual price action and where price is looking to go and where price is most likely to go, things like that. So it's very important to pay attention to prior highs and lows, especially on the low time frame. These breakouts after these breaks of structure have been super powerful, and I've been paying a lot more attention to them lately, and I've really been liking the results. So I think if you guys do the same thing, you'll also see something similar to where you're actually seeing a much bigger difference in your trading based on these breaks of structure.